Plaintiffs Tashima Satterfield and her husband Lonnie say Tashima has been friends with the defendant for 15 years. And for the past several years, she's been harassing Lonnie. Lonnie claims he was arrested after the defendant falsely accused him of abusing and neglecting his baby. And they're suing for the harassment and the value of a TV. Defendant Kristen Shoemaker insists Lonnie is physically and mentally abusive to his children and Tashima. And Tashima is the one who told Kristen about Lonnie abusing their baby. Kristen claims a few months ago the school and Tashima's own mother reported Lonnie and Tashima for neglecting their children. And she's countersuing for harassment.
Start with you all.
All right, about my wife and Kristen has been friends for about 15 years, sadly though. Consequently for me, almost a decade now going on, I've been getting harassed by Kristen Shoemaker.
That is not true.
My life has been hell in hot water.
So they were friends and she was harassing you?
Yes.
About what?
Calling CPS on me twice saying that
10 years ago, beginning 10 years ago?
Yes, almost 10 years ago, 2008 to be exact. She called CPS on me saying that I abused my then 7-month-old son, who was 5 pounds then.
And you and your wife were living together?
Yes. He was born at 1 pound, 12 ounces, to give you the exacts on that. And
because
so,
that's what I was told.
They were saying that we malnourished him and things of that nature, but obviously he would be small at 7 months.
So she was alleging your wife did wrong as well?
Yes.
Okay, so they weren't friends, obviously, at that time.
Obviously, I'm not sure if that's what they.
That's not a friendship. I believe when you have a friend is there through thick and thin, no matter what. If it's right or wrong, they're gonna sit there with you 100%. They're not gonna go behind your back and do stuff.
Which is why I ended up with most of your kids at
They don't go behind your back and, you know, call CPS or get your husband locked up over a foolishness of a TV.
Your Honor, I never called CPS on her.
She called CPS over a TV?
No, she called CPS saying that. I'm saying that, you know, with everything that's going on, with me and my husband, everything that's going on and why we're here today is because, honestly, of the harassment in a TV. You
all were good friends?
Me and her was.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
And she called CPS on you then?
She called CPS 2008 and again this year.
Why did she call in 08? What did she allege?
08 was my son was with us one evening. She had called me one evening and was like, hey, you know, can I get the baby? You know, I want to babysit. Okay, cool. That gave us time to ourselves, a little you and I time. So she came and got him about 2 that day. About 4 or 5 o'clock, I get a call from CPS saying that they have my son at the hospital. Apparently, she had told them that his father had punched him in the chest. He had bruising on his chest.
And he also had a PDA on his heart following surgery because he had to have heart surgery.
What did they determine?
They determined it was a bruise. They didn't say how that bruise came about. We never got charged.
Malnourished.
Was there were no consequences?
No. They told us we just had to do parenting, which at that time they did remove him from the home. He did resign with his grandmother.
How long?
9 months.
Yeah.
Well, there were consequences. Why do you
he got
nothing happened? Something did
happen. He got arrested for the allegations of the Father's Day that year, June.
Of my first Father's Day, to be exact.
He got arrested. He was arrested for 17 days on that case, but he never got charged.
Although they may not have prosecuted it, if that's what you're telling me. Right. I don't know whether they did or not. What I do know is by your own admission, they removed the child from the house for 9 months. So let me hear from you, ma'am.
When she met Lonnie, everything changed. Lonnie has been abusive to not only his children, but her.
Physically?
Yes, physically, mentally. That was not the only baby with bruises on him. Kids have had broken arms. I've had one of the girls come stay with me. She's come back with marks on her arms saying that her father whooped her. And the abuse that they are speaking of with the CPS, I went to her house and the baby's onesie was on backwards. I turned it around. I said to Shima, why does he have bruises on him? Oh, well, because Lonnie said that he lost control. She has told me about different times where Lonnie has put hot sauce on the baby's fingers to keep his fingers out of his mouth. And not only did Children's Hospital find—
Did you tell her that?
No, I didn't.
Not only did Children's Hospital find that he was abused from the bruises that were on him. They did find that he was malnourished. I don't care how premature he was in the hospital for less than a week and gained 3 or 4 pounds.
They believed you to the extent that they removed the child. So, what's your next issue?
This is not the first, that was not the last time. Here back a couple months ago, they were not able to be around their children alone because of allegations from the school, from myself, to Miss Whiteside's mother, because of the way the kids come to school dressed. Holes in their pants, their clothes aren't fitting. Yes.
How about that?
Those complaints were never filed. Was none of that not filed? I mean, none of that is true.
Do you have a report?
No, I don't.
Do you have anything demonstrating that this occurred a couple of months ago?
No, I don't. All I have is what I know.
All right.
Your Honor, with the initial investigation about CPS, that wasn't the story that she told CPS. She actually told CPS.
What are you referring to? 2 months ago?
No, about the
Sir,
about,
we're
about
done
the
with
first
that.
And
so can we move on? I don't know what else you want me to do. This was 2008. They took your child and arrested you.
Not only is he abusive to the children.
You keep trying to just go back over that? Huh?
Your Honor, he is also abusive to her.
See, you just keep giving her a chance to talk about your abuse. They were friends and she was harassing you.
Yes.
About what?
Calling CPS on me twice, saying that
10 years ago, beginning 10 years ago?
Yes, almost 10 years ago, 2008 to be exact. She called CPS on me saying that I abused my then 7-month-old son.
Plaintiffs Tashima Satterfield and her husband Lonnie are suing Tashima's former friend, who claims she called Child Protective Services on Lonnie for abusing and neglecting his children.
What else has he done?
He is also abusive to her. She's had restraining orders on him a number of times. She has called a number of times. She has called me to her rescue.
Now explain that.
Heard him
Because you want to keep explaining. You want to keep talking about the abuse stuff. I tried to tell you to stop. She said you've had restraining orders against you a number of times for physically abusing her.
Never a number of times.
That's what he wants us to
Never a number of times, and never
any
for
restraining order against you.
Yes, just once.
All right.
And that was out of.
I understand.
That was out of the convention.
I understand. Now, do you want to resume telling me what you are suing her for today, sir?
Yes, for a television.
All right, what happened? How does she owe you for a TV?
With the television, we were down bad, obviously, with finances. And so we asked her to hold our TV until we did find shelter. And so in May, we did find shelter and a new home, and we asked her to return our TV. She told us that she liked the TV and that she wanted to purchase it, and she didn't want to return the TV.
All right, and how much is the TV?
$1,400.
$1,400. Wow, that's a 62 inches. Huh?
It's a 55-inch.
55-inch.
It's not, Your Honor.
Now, you know that's ghetto fabulous. You walking around, got a big 55-inch television and nowhere to stay.
Oh, no.
That is ghetto fabulous. Tell me about the television, man.
This was one of those occasions where they had a disagreement, if you will. Tashima called myself and her mother crying hysterically, telling me that she had to lock her children in a back bedroom because he was at the door, a deadbolted door, trying to kick the door in to get to her. She was afraid for her life.
Making this up also?
Yeah. I ran to her rescue, as I always do. Got there, the police had arrived, thankfully. In the process of him going to jail, she was afraid. She said he's gonna get out, he's gonna be mad because I sent him to jail, I need to get away from here. She didn't have any money. I didn't have any money. She didn't want to come to my house.
Man, was he arrested for something you alleged he did?
He was arrested for violating his probation.
What was he on probation for?
He was
resisting arrest.
Resisting what arrest?
It was arrest from about 2 years ago.
From what? What were they arresting you for?
It was basically a disagreement that nothing happened other than the resisting arrest. They basically were trying to talk to me and kicked in the door, and I resisted arrest basically. like for real, it was nothing. They weren't called. They weren't called.
Sir,
they were doing
all
the civil
this.
duty.
It was nothing. It was nothing. Sir, you were put on probation. You were convicted, sir. You were convicted of something.
Yeah,
it wasn't nothing. Right there.
Resisting arrest.
It was cool, y'all. It was just a simple misunderstanding.
Yeah,
and we talked and we worked it out. Sir, you were convicted.
It wasn't nothing.
Whatever it was, you were convicted. All right, go ahead, ma'am. Let's get to the television. I know, we see what this is. We see what this is.
Miss Whiteside then came up with the bright idea that she would begin to sell things out of her house, which, fine. If you need to get away from him, do what you have to do. In the process, I'll buy the TV along with a electronic fireplace. She went and bailed him out of jail, mind you.
Now let's get back to this television.
Okay.
We know about all of that.
Okay.
Did you pay for this television?
Yes, I paid her $250 along with the fireplace.
For $50.
Along with what?
The fireplace.
She never paid me for that.
Hold on, ma'am. Did they tell you it was worth $1,400?
No, it was a
You have
sale
something
between
showing
me and
it's
her.
worth $1,400? And you paid them $250 when?
I paid her $250.
Okay, in cash?
Yes.
All right.
This is the actual model of the TV,
Let's see it,
and
please.
these are the prices.
When did you purchase the TV? What year?
I purchased the TV this year on February 17th.
Okay. And you say what?
If she paid me for that TV, I would not be here today.
Why do you think she just refuses to give it back?
Honestly, them two don't like each other. Since me and
What
him
about
been
you,
together,
though? What about you?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if
Okay.
she's not giving it back or never gave it back or never paid for it because he wanted it back once we found the
Okay.
place to move to, or what the case may be.
Your Honor,
All
I'm
right.
pretty sure she had more than just a television.
Anyone
in
have
her
any
home.
evidence regarding any of this? It just sounds very odd.
No, I just have
were
a statement from my mom that she witnessed to on how that day went down. With
Okay,
everything that
let's see.
happened that day.
What was your mother when she witnessed this?
She lived with her.
She lived with Kristen Shoemaker. at the
Okay, let
time.
me see it. Okay. After Lonnie was locked up, asked Kristen if she wanted to buy. Your mother said,
It wasn't a
did
buy.
you ask her if she wanted to buy?
It wasn't a buy.
You handed me this.
Yeah, but it wasn't a buy. Yeah, it wasn't a
This,
buy.
you handed me this as your evidence.
Right, but it wasn't a buy.
You said, Judge, I have evidence from my mama. And mama says exactly what she says and the opposite of what you all say. All right. What's your counterclaim for, ma'am?
Harassment. I've had to call the police on several different occasions because of the Facebook messages I received from Lonnie telling me that he was going to spit in my face when he saw me, that I was dying from lupus. I had to take out a restraining order on Mr. Satterfield.
You have that with you
Yes,
today?
I do. I have
the
all of that
restraining
for
order?
you.
And what else you
Restraining
said you
order,
have?
Facebook messages, and
Let's see
6
it.
police reports.
Sir, what do you say to this?
Well, the restraining
And
order
what
is
police
actually,
report? From
Right.
what?
Him frequenting my residence. He came to my house. He stepped inside of my house when Tashima's mother was there. Him and Tashima came and sat outside of my house. The police were going back and forth from upstairs to my residence to downstairs to try to get their story. Tashima called myself and her mother crying hysterically, telling me that she had to lock her children in a back bedroom because he was at the door, a deadbolted door, trying to kick the door in to get to her.
Plaintiffs Tashima Satterfield and her husband Lonnie are suing Tashima's former friend, who claims she called Child Protective Services on Lonnie for abusing and neglecting his children.
Sir, what do you say to all this?
I never showed up to her house without the police because obviously, like I told you, I was on probation, so I wouldn't do anything to harm myself to get me locked up. And like I said, when I came to her house, it was only
How about
to
the
repo
threats,
my TV.
sir?
I didn't threaten her in any other way, fashion, other than coming to this court.
Facebook.
All I told her is I'll see her in court.
Girl, don't nobody beat no kids. You got your facts wrong. You lame, dumb, stupid HCOA in court. You lupus having turkey neck AB. I'ma spit in your face when I see you. You forgot that part?
In response to her.
Yeah, whatever it was. You say you didn't do it. Now I'm reading it and you did it.
And that restraining order was...
Man, be quiet and get out of my courtroom. Your claim is granted, yours is dismissed. Have a good day.
I'm just glad it's over with. I hope it's over with. I hope I don't receive any more harassing phone calls, text messages.